The human floated through the abandoned corridors of the alien ship, each step resonating faintly against the cold metal walls. The ship's interior was dimly lit by flickering panels that cast long, wavering shadows. The hum of dormant engines and the occasional creak of shifting metal created a haunting symphony echoing through the empty halls. He was a loner, so he thought, until a voice, soft and unplaceable, whispered through the still air. "You're ready now?" He froze, heart hammering, scanning the darkness for any sign of life. No one was there. Yet the words carried weight, vibrating in his chest as though the ship itself had spoken directly to him. He took cautious steps forward, eyes straining in the low light. Every corner seemed alive, every shadow a potential threat. The whisper came again, just as faint. "You're ready now." This time, he caught a glimpse of movement, a faint shimmer at the edge of his vision, like heat rising from a surface. He blinked, and it was gone. Fear prickled along his spine, but a strange curiosity compelled him to move deeper. The corridors twisted unpredictably, turning back on themselves, as though the ship itself was alive. Guiding him, panels along the walls suddenly glowed, revealing alien symbols that pulsed faintly. He had no idea what they meant, but instinctively, he felt a rhythm in them, a cadence that seemed to align with the whispers. His pulse quickened as the voice spoke again, almost urging him forward. "You're ready now." He whispered back to the empty corridors, a nervous laugh escaping him. "Ready for what?" Silence answered him, thick and heavy. The ship seemed to breathe around him, and he realized that he could feel its subtle vibrations through the floor. Resonating in time with the whispers, a flicker of movement caught his eye, and he spun toward it. A faint glowing form hovered near the ceiling, indistinct, but undeniably alive. His breath caught, shimmered and wavered like liquid silver, trembling slightly as if it were unsure of him. Swallowed, trying to steady his nerves, and whispered, Who are you?" The form tilted almost curiously, and the air around him shifted, carrying that same voice again, soft but direct. "You're ready now." The repetition was unnerving, but it also drew him in, compelling him to move. Closer, despite the fear that gnawed at his mind, he advanced cautiously, every step echoing through the corridor. The air seemed to thicken, charged with energy he could not identify. The trembling form floated closer, now more defined, a humanoid figure with faintly glowing eyes and hair that shimmered with silvery light. She moved with an unsteady grace, almost as if she were balancing on currents of unseen wind. He felt the pull of her presence, magnetic and strange, drawing him forward while warning him of unseen danger. You're not supposed to be here," he said quietly, though. His voice lacked conviction. The figure trembled slightly in response, her glow flickering in short, rapid pulses. It was not fear, it was something else, something he couldn't name. The whispers continued, overlapping her subtle movements, as though the ship, the figure, and the voice were intertwined in a delicate rhythm only he was beginning to perceive. He reached out instinctively, but she remained just out of reach, hovering in place, trembling in a way that mirrored the unease tightening in his chest. "Why do you keep saying that?" he asked, voice shaking. "Ready for what?" The corridor seemed to pulse with energy, and the whisper answered again, merging with the vibrations in the floor walls. In his own heartbeat, "You're ready now." Each repetition sent a shiver down his spine, an involuntary reaction that made his skin crawl with both fear and fascination. The human took another step, and the figure descended slightly, trembling more noticeably now, her glow intensifying. With every quiver, walls around him seemed to shift, panels opening to reveal more alien symbols, energy coursing faintly beneath the surface. He could sense that the ship itself was responding to her presence, to his presence, to the bond that was forming in the silence of the dark corridors. Every instinct screamed caution, but something deeper, curiosity, awe, and an unexplainable trust drove him forward. Then, suddenly, a doorway appeared ahead, previously invisible, glowing with a faint blue light. The figure floated closer, trembling in a subtle rhythm, and he realized that each quiver was a guide, a cue to move safely through the ship. The whispers grew more insistent, yet no less enigmatic. "You're ready now." He stepped forward, aligning his movements with her trembling, feeling a strange harmony between his heartbeat and the cadence of the ship, the voice and her form. As he crossed into the doorway, the glow from the figure illuminated the chamber. Beyond, revealing a central hub with alien machinery that hummed with quiet power, he stopped, breathless, as she floated to the center, trembling now in deliberate patterns. She looked at him, eyes glowing softly, and the whisper finally changed, softer, more intimate. "Come closer. It's time." The human hesitated for only a moment before stepping forward, heart pounding, aware that whatever awaited him would test every ounce of courage he had. The darkness of the ship, the trembling figure, and the repeated whisper, "You're ready now," all pointed to a threshold he could not yet understand. His fear was strong, but so was the pull of the unknown, and as he advanced, he realized that the moment he had feared was exactly the one he was meant to face. Every step brought him closer to her, closer to the truth hidden within the ship, and closer to the realization that this encounter was only the beginning of a journey that would challenge not just his survival, but his mind, his courage, and the fragile trust forming between him and the trembling, glowing presence that had whispered to him from the dark. The air pulsed with energy. The walls whispered in alien patterns, and he felt, with both terror and anticipation, that he was crossing the line into something far greater than he had ever imagined. The figure shivered once more, eyes locking onto his, and the whisper, finally, intimate and commanding, echoed in his mind, "You're ready now." The human followed the glowing figure through the twisting corridors, every step resonating with the hum of the alien ship. The walls seemed to shift subtly as they moved, panels sliding aside to reveal faint alien symbols pulsing in rhythm with the figure's trembling glow. He had begun to sense her presence not just visually, but mentally. Her subtle quivers and soft whispers seemed to communicate feelings, intentions, even warnings. He realized that following her wasn't just a matter of direction, it was a matter of perception, a dance of trust between them. She led him to a corridor that opened into a wider chamber, its ceiling arching impossibly high, lined with alien machinery that hummed with quiet, almost sentient energy. The light from her form reflected off the surfaces, creating shifting patterns that made the walls appear alive. He could see faint shadows of moving parts inside the machines, and the air vibrated with a low hum that resonated in his chest. It was beautiful, terrifying, and utterly alien. "You have to trust me," the figure whispered, her voice trembling slightly, but steady enough to guide him. "Every step matters. Every hesitation could unbalance the path."
Yeah.
Her glow flickered as she moved forward, and he realized her trembling wasn't fear, it was an energy, a rhythm, a guide. He followed carefully, syncing his steps to the subtle pulses in her movement and the ship's vibrations. The chamber shifted unexpectedly, platforms rising from the floor and sliding silently into place. One misstep could have sent him falling into darkness. The figure hovered near the edge, trembling slightly. The human instinctively mirrored her rhythm, each tremble a cue for balance. As he moved, he began to notice small patterns in her movement, the direction she tilted, the intensity of her glow, the soft quiver of her hands, signaling the safest path forward. Shadows twisted unnaturally along the walls, some resembling creatures, others abstract forms that seemed to watch him.
Oh.
Every instinct screamed caution, yet he couldn't stop following her. Each pulse of her glow, each whispered syllable, felt like a tether guiding him through hazards he couldn't see and could barely imagine. Started to feel a strange connection, not just to her, but to the ship itself. It was alive, responsive, and his bond with her allowed him to perceive its subtle signals at one point. A sudden shift in the floor caused a panel to glow bright, casting him in harsh light. He froze, panic rising, but the figure's trembling intensified in a pattern that calmed him. He realized that her quivers now conveyed complex information: danger, safety, caution, and encouragement. He followed her, moving instinctively with the rhythm she set, and the light dimmed again, the floor steadying beneath him. They reached a doorway that opened into a smaller chamber, the walls etched with alien glyphs glowing softly. The figure floated to the center, trembling slightly, and gestured toward a console-like structure pulsing with energy. "You must see," she whispered. "The knowledge is here, but it will test your mind." The human stepped closer, heart racing, feeling a mixture of fear and anticipation. He knew that understanding what lay ahead required trust, not just in her guidance, but in the connection that had been growing between them. As he touched the glowing surface, visions flared in his mind. Fragments of alien logic, flashes of their civilization's history, and a sense of vast intelligence that stretched beyond comprehension. He staggered back, overwhelmed, but the figure trembled closer, her presence anchoring him. Her glow intensified, and he felt that if he aligned with her rhythm, he could interpret these flashes, absorb them, without losing himself. "Focus on my voice," she whispered, her trembling now more deliberate, controlled. "Let it guide you through what you cannot yet understand." Concentrated, syncing his breathing and pulse to her subtle movements. Slowly, the chaotic visions became clearer, revealing hints of alien technology, cosmic events, and knowledge that seemed both impossible and vital. Every tremble, every quiver, every flicker of her glow acted as a map, leading him through the alien logic that his mind alone could not process. By the time they exited the chamber, he felt transformed. His understanding of the ship, of her, and of the mysterious energy that bound them together had deepened. She hovered beside him, trembling faintly, a quiet glow that now radiated reassurance. He realized that the journey was far from over. But the connection between them, the whispers, the trembles, the guiding glow was his key to survival and understanding. As they moved forward, deeper into the alien vessel, he could feel a strange exhilaration mingling with fear. Every step, every pulse of her trembling, every whisper carried meaning he could sense, but not fully explain. The ghostly guide had become more than a present. She was a bridge, a teacher, and perhaps even a warning. And in the shadows of the ship, with every flicker of light and tremor of energy, he understood one undeniable truth. The bond between them was the only thing that would carry him safely through the darkness ahead. The human stepped cautiously into the chamber, the air thick with an unfamiliar energy that made his skin prickle. Platforms floated in midair, shifting slowly, yet unpredictably, illuminated by soft alien light that shimmered across the walls. The alien girl hovered just ahead, her glow trembling faintly, a subtle rhythm that seemed to communicate more than words ever could. Each quiver of her form guided him, signaling where to step, where to pause, and where danger might lurk. He realized that this was no ordinary trial. The chamber itself responded to their combined presence, a puzzle of motion, balance, and perception that tested not just his body but his mind. Every step was a test. Some platforms rose sharply, others tilted, and a misstep could plunge him into a shadowed void below. He synchronized his breathing with hers, moving in harmony with her trembling glow. He noticed patterns emerging. A slight flicker meant a safe path, a longer quiver hinted at instability, and an almost imperceptible pause signaled the need for caution. His fear was intense, but the trust he was forming with her guided him forward. Each pulse of energy through the chamber reinforcing their connection. Shadows danced along the walls, some appearing to move independently, shapes shifting in ways that made it difficult to discern reality from illusion. Human hesitated, but the alien girl's trembling intensified in a deliberate, almost reassuring rhythm. It was as if she were telling him, "You can do this. Follow me." He stepped forward, his body tense, eyes focused on her movements. With every synchronized motion, he began to sense the flow of the chamber itself. The subtle currents of energy beneath the platforms that could either support him or throw him off balance. A sudden pulse of energy rippled through the room. A platform tilted dangerously. He froze, heart racing, but her trembling glowed brighter, guiding him with precise cues. Adjusted his stance, feeling the pulse of her presence resonate within his own body. The floor shifted again, and he moved instinctively, each step a response to the pattern she communicated. In that moment, he understood that survival depended not only on agility, but on reading the rhythms of her form, the energy of the chamber, and his own instincts combined. Midway through, a swirling vortex of light appeared at the center of the room, spinning and refracting the alien symbols etched into the walls. The human's head spun from the visual assault, but the alien girl hovered close, trembling steadily, her glow anchoring his focus. He realized the chamber was testing not just his physical coordination, but his mental clarity and ability to trust. Every misstep could lead to disaster, yet her presence provided a tether, a silent reassurance that he was not alone in navigating this trial. Time seemed distorted as he moved through the shifting platforms, each pulse of energy from the chamber synchronized with the subtle trembling of the alien girl, guiding him through what seemed like chaos, but was actually a carefully constructed path. He could feel the connection between them strengthening. Her quivers, once mysterious and elusive, had become a language he could read instinctively. Fear still coursed through him, but it was tempered by understanding, focus, and the strange exhilaration of mastering the impossible. Finally, they reached a stable platform near the far end of the chamber. The alien girl floated beside him, trembling slightly, but with a steady glow that radiated assurance. He exhaled deeply, muscles tense but relieved, aware that he had survived a trial that tested more than strength or agility, had tested trust, perception, and his ability to synchronize with her unique rhythm. He realized that the trembling was more than a guide, was a connection, shared communication of awareness and intention. As they moved together toward the next doorway, the human glanced at her, noticing the subtle glow of her eyes and the faint rhythm of her trembling. He understood that their journey had only begun, and that every step forward would demand the same focus, trust, and attunement to her signals. The chamber behind them seemed to pulse in quiet acknowledgement of their success, the alien symbols dimming as if satisfied with the outcome. The human felt a mixture of relief, awe, and curiosity. The alien girl's trembling, once a source of mystery and tension, had become a tool for survival, a bridge between their consciousnesses. He realized that this connection, strange, alien, and inexplicable, was the key to navigating not only this ship, but the deeper mysteries that awaited them. And as they stepped into the next corridor, the sense of suspense and anticipation intensified. Whatever lay ahead, he knew that following her, reading her subtle rhythms, and trusting the connection they had forged would be the only way to survive on, perhaps, to understand the purpose behind her whispered words. "You're ready now?" The human stepped into the chamber, and immediately the air felt different, charged with an energy that made his skin tingle. In the center of the room floated a crystalline core, glowing with an inner light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Surface shimmered in shifting colors, casting dancing reflections across the walls, and the hum it emitted resonated deep within him. He took a hesitant step forward, mesmerized by the core, but the alien girl hovered nearby, trembling faintly, her glow flickering with subtle intensity. He sensed her caution, her anticipation, and understood that this chamber held far more than he could yet comprehend. "You must be careful," she whispered, her voice trembling yet calm. "The core shows everything and nothing. It tests the mind, the heart, and the will. You must focus." Her glow pulsed in rhythm with the energy of the crystal, as if she were connected to it and guiding him through its subtle signals. He approached slowly, aware of the weight of every step. The room itself seemed alive, the crystalline core's light shifting in patterns that suggested understanding, or perhaps judgment, as he neared the center. Flashes of visions erupted in his mind, alien landscapes, advanced technologies, and glimpses of civilizations that had risen and fallen long before humanity existed. The sheer breadth of knowledge was overwhelming. He staggered slightly, nearly losing focus, but the alien girl floated closer, trembling deliberately, her glow anchoring his awareness. He realized that her movements, her subtle quivers, were a map, guiding him through the chaos of information, helping him interpret the impossible. The core pulsed more intensely, responding to their combined presence. He could feel his heartbeat, syncing with the rhythm of its light and her trembling, a strange harmony forming between them. Every quiver of her glow seemed to correspond to a fragment of understanding, a thread to follow amidst the flood of visions. He sensed not only her guidance, but her trust, as if she were offering him a choice, to accept this connection and embrace the knowledge, or step back and lose the opportunity forever. Visions of distant stars, massive ships, and alien cities flashed rapidly before him, each one more detailed than the last. He glimpsed the logic behind technologies that could manipulate energy, space, and time, all encoded in patterns that only made sense through the alien girl's guidance. He felt his mind strained to comprehend it all, yet her trembling provided rhythm and clarity. Without her cues, the visions would have overwhelmed him entirely, leaving only confusion and fear. "You can handle it," she whispered, floating closer. Her trembling intensified in deliberate patterns, and he understood that every pulse of light and subtle shiver was a way to focus his mind. To interpret the alien signals correctly, he reached out toward the crystalline core, and as his fingers brushed its surface, a surge of understanding coursed through him. Knowledge flowed not in words, but in impressions, emotions, and flashes of insight. He felt as if the universe itself had opened to him, yet he remained tethered, guided by her presence. The chamber seemed to hum in acknowledgement, the crystalline light reacting to his growing awareness. He sensed the alien girl's own emotions. Through the trembles, the subtle flickers of her glow, hope, anticipation, and the quiet excitement of a guide witnessing her companion rise to the challenge. Fear still lingered in him, but it was tempered by awe and trust, and by the realization that he was not alone in this trial. As the vision settled, the human took a deep breath and looked at her. The trembling had lessened, now steady and confident. She hovered beside the core, her glow bright but controlled, radiating reassurance. He realized that the chamber had tested him not only physically and mentally, but emotionally, forcing him to confront his fear, trust the unknown, and synchronize with another consciousness. "The knowledge is only a step," she whispered. "Bond between us, the connection you feel it, is the true test. Without it, nothing you see here would make sense." He nodded, understanding that the trials ahead would demand the same focus, trust, and harmony with her guidance. The crystalline core pulsed softly, as if satisfied with his progress, while the chamber's alien energy ebbed slightly, leaving the room bathed in a gentle glow. Together, they stepped away from the core, the human feeling both exhilaration and apprehension. The alien girl's trembling, once mysterious and alarming, had become a language, a guide, and a tether to navigate the unknown. He realized that the knowledge was only the beginning, and that the bond forming between them through trembles, glows, and whispers would be the key to surviving the greater challenges ahead. As they moved toward the next corridor, the human felt the weight of what he had learned and the intensity of what awaited them. The alien girl's voice, soft but certain, echoed in his mind. "You are ready now." Yet the words, once simple, now carried profound meaning, and he knew that the journey was far from over. The chamber behind them remained alive with quiet energy, a reminder that knowledge alone was not enough. It was connection, it was trust and courage that would guide them through the dark and the unknown. The human stepped cautiously into the next chamber, his mind still reeling from the visions and knowledge revealed by the crystalline core. The air here was different, thicker, almost electric-hand. He could feel the ship itself responding to their presence. The alien girl hovered ahead, trembling faintly, her glow brighter now, guiding him forward with a subtle rhythm he had come to understand. Every quiver of her form pulsed like a signal, and he moved instinctively in harmony with her. Aware that this chamber would demand more than just physical agility or mental focus, it would demand courage. Suddenly, the glow from her eyes intensified, and he realized that she was no longer just a guide. She was a living consciousness, a remnant of her civilization, carrying the collective knowledge and purpose of a people long gone. Her trembles, once mysterious, now had clarity. They were both warnings and encouragement, a language of connection. that he alone could interpret. He felt the weight of her existence, the depth of her knowledge, and the unspoken urgency in her guidance. "You must choose," she whispered, her voice trembling yet commanding. "The bond we share is real, and it will change you. You can accept it, or walk away and lose everything." The human's heart raced. He had sensed something extraordinary about her from the beginning, but now the truth struck him fully. This was more than survival, more than exploration. It was a test of his willingness to embrace the unknown, to trust an alien consciousness completely. Visions flooded his mind, again flashes of distant worlds, cosmic events, and the scope of civilizations far beyond human understanding. Each vision pulsed in rhythm with her trembling. He realized that without her guidance, the knowledge would overwhelm him, crush him, or leave him lost in confusion. She was not just a companion, she was a lifeline. Fear and awe mingled in his chest, but beneath them was a rising sense of destiny. The chamber seemed to respond to their combined presence. The walls shimmered with alien symbols, pulsing softly, as if acknowledging the choice before him. He reached out instinctively, his hand hovering near her, feeling the subtle warmth of her energy. Her trembling intensified slightly, encouraging him to act. Every quiver carried meaning, trust, courage, and commitment. He knew that hesitating could cost him not only the bond, but access to the profound knowledge and connection that awaited. "You don't understand yet," she whispered, floating closer, her glow enveloping him gently. "This is not just about surviving or learning. It is about becoming part of something greater. Part of me, part of us, part of a path that only you can walk." He felt the weight of her words settle in his mind. They were a challenge and an invitation, terrifying and exhilarating all at once. The bond she offered would forever link their consciousness, their awareness, their destinies. He swallowed hard, his mind racing. Could he trust an alien consciousness fully? Could he embrace a connection so intimate that it blurred the line between self and other? The chamber pulsed again, the crystalline light from the previous core seeming to resonate through the walls, amplifying the gravity of his decision. The alien girl's trembling had become steady, her glow a steady beacon in the swirling energy around them. She was waiting, urging, guiding, and testing him all at once. Finally, stepped forward, hand reaching toward hers, and felt a surge of understanding. The bond formed instantly, subtle at first, then overwhelming, a merging of awareness that flooded his mind with visions, emotions, and clarity beyond anything he had ever imagined. He could see through her memories, sense her thoughts, and feel the urgency of her existence. Fear remained, but it was now tempered by trust and awe. He was no longer alone. Together, they were stronger, their connection a bridge to the unknown. Chambers seemed to settle in quiet acknowledgement of their union. The walls shimmered less intensely, the energy within the room harmonizing with their synchronized consciousness. The human exhaled deeply, feeling both relief and exhilaration. Aware that the trials ahead would demand this bond to navigate dangers and unravel the mysteries of the alien ship. The alien girl hovered beside him, her trembling now rhythmic and steady, her glow a soft, reassuring light. "You have chosen," she whispered, her voice calm, certain. "The path ahead is yours to walk with me. Together, we will face what comes." The human nodded, feeling a mix of excitement, apprehension, and determination. He realized that the choice was not just about survival or knowledge, it was about connection, trust, and embracing the extraordinary. As they moved toward the exit of the chamber, the human sensed a profound shift within himself. Fear still lingered, but awe, trust, and the sense of purpose she provided outweighed it. The alien girl's trembling and glow had become more than signals. They were part of him now, guiding his every perception and action. The ship, the knowledge, and the bond they shared would be the key to the challenges awaiting them. And as they stepped into the corridor beyond, the human understood one undeniable truth. Their destinies were now intertwined, and the revelation of her true nature had opened a door to possibilities beyond imagination. The human followed the alien girl into the final chamber, his senses heightened by the bond they had formed. The corridor opened into a vast, circular space, its ceiling arcing impossibly high, lined with alien glyphs that pulsed softly like the heartbeat of the ship itself. At the center floated a massive orb of radiant energy, swirling with colors beyond human comprehension. The air was thick with power, vibrating against his chest, and he felt both awe and fear. This was the culmination of everything they had faced so far. The alien girl hovered beside him, trembling faintly, her glow bright and steady now. "Is it?" she whispered, her voice carrying a mix of caution and encouragement. "Everything depends on the choice you make here. Your fear, your trust, your courage, it will all be tested." He nodded, understanding that this moment was more than survival. It was about destiny, about embracing the unknown, and about stepping fully into the connection they had forged. As he approached the orb, visions flared in his mind. Countless worlds, civilizations rising and falling, cosmic storms, and alien cities suspended in impossible harmony. The information was overwhelming, more than any human mind should bear. But her presence steadied him. Her trembling, once a guide through physical trials, now acted as a mental compass, helping him interpret the visions and focus on the essential truths. Every flicker of her glow seemed to map the chaos into clarity. "You can do this," she whispered, floating closer. Her hand reached toward his, and as their fingers touched, a surge of energy coursed through him. Knowledge, understanding, and awareness flowed into him. But it was not a simple download of information. It was an experience, a merging of perception and thought. He felt her consciousness intertwine with his, a tether that anchored him even. As his mind stretched to comprehend the impossible, the orb reacted to their bond. Its light shifting, pulsing faster with every heartbeat, as if testing the strength of their connection. Shadows flickered along the walls, forming shapes that seemed alivesome, threatening. Others ethereal, but the alien girl's steady trembling guided him. He moved instinctively with her, each step a reflection of their synchronized rhythm. Fear threatened to paralyze him, but the trust they had built allowed him to move forward, step by step, into the heart of the chamber. "You must commit," she said, her voice firm but gentle. "There is no turning back. Once you accept this, everything changes. Are you ready?" He swallowed hard, feeling the gravity of the moment. This was the choice he had been guided to from the first whisper in the dark, the first trembling glow. To hesitate would mean losing the connection, the knowledge, and the path forward. To move forward meant embracing the unknown, trusting her completely, stepping into a new reality. He took a deep breath and nodded. Together they reached toward the orb. The energy surged around them, enveloping them in blinding light. His mind expanded, understanding flowing in ways words could never capture. He saw the ship's purpose, the alien girl's origin, and the vast web of knowledge spanning galaxies. As fear and uncertainty dissolved, replaced by clarity, awe, and a profound sense of connection not just with her, but with the universe itself. When the light subsided, he found himself standing beside her. The orb's glow dimmed, but still radiating gentle energy. She floated quietly, trembling faintly, her eyes meeting his with a look of calm affirmation. He realized that the choice had changed him. He was no longer the same person who had entered the ship. The bond between them was permanent, a bridge of understanding and trust that would guide them through whatever came next. The chamber itself seemed to exhale, the glyphs along the walls dimming in acknowledgement of their success. The alien girl's trembling, once a mystery, had become a language of connection, guiding him through fear, knowledge, and transformation. He could feel the energy of the ship still humming beneath them, alive and responsive, yet no longer threatening now. It resonated in harmony with their combined presence. "We are ready," she whispered softly, her glow steady and comforting. "Whatever lies ahead, we face it together." The human nodded, a sense of profound awe washing over him. The journey had tested his mind, body, and spirit, but in the end, it had forged a connection that transcended fear, language, and species. They had crossed the threshold into a new understanding. The universe in all its mystery awaited them as they moved toward the exit. Leaving the chamber and the orb behind, he realized that the whispers, the trembles, and the trials had all led to this moment. The bond they shared was not just a lifeline, it was a key to possibilities beyond imagination. Together, they stepped into the unknown, ready to face whatever the cosmos held, guided by trust, courage, and the unbreakable connection between them. The alien girl's voice, faint but certain, echoed in his mind one last time. You were ready. And now we journey forward.